It's transformed the homeless sector. The smaller to medium organisations like ourselves, I think, has made such a difference.
What we try to do is give a clear steer on actually making sure that we manage the issue, that it doesn't drag on forever, but we actually try and make sure it's sorted as quickly as possible for everyone's benefit.
By changing our recruitment practices through sort of some of the advice and guidance from Beyond a Helpline, we've actually managed to really recruit a top-notch team working for us.
A few years ago, a group of small voluntary organisations approached the London Housing Foundation with a common problem. They had HR issues, but didn't have the capacity or the knowledge to deal with them. What they were looking for was a way of managing problems professionally and also of investing in their key resource, their people. Well, to meet this need, the London Housing Foundation piloted an innovative HR project called Beyond a Helpline. One of the first customers of the project was New Horizon, the youth charity that I'm fortunate enough to chair. Kevin Ireland, the former executive director of the London Housing Foundation, met the director of New Horizon, Sheila O'Connor, to chat about her experiences of Beyond a Helpline.
I remember that you had some HR issues when we first started out. Tell me a little bit about them and how they influenced your feelings on getting involved in Beyond a Helpline.
For me, our clients are very important. They're number one, but my staff are most important. Without them, we would not be able to achieve the wonderful work we do with young people. So for me, I wanted to invest in those staff, and I think our initial audit with Beyond a Helpline showed that there was a number of issues that staff felt needed to be addressed. And the other important thing, Kevin, we were paying out quite a lot of money to a small number of staff who had ongoing sickness and attendance problems. Now, over the course of that 2 years, our sickness and attendance levels have reduced dramatically to about 3%, which is very good. Wow. So in financial terms, we have saved £18,000 to £20,000 a year. So that investment seems very small when you look at that.
The London Housing Foundation tendered for the project, and the HR team at homelessness charity Broadway, led by Helen Giles, was chosen to deliver the work.
The voluntary sector has one grievance for every 92 staff compared to 516, I think it is, in the private sector and 350 in the public sector. There are plenty of helplines on the market, but we actually gave, I believe, our clients a much more personal service. It wasn't just sort of talking them through a problem and then letting them get on with it. It was very much about helping them structure scripts of difficult conversations perhaps that they were having or about to have with members of staff, checking any records. If they wanted out of their allotted time to have us go along as management advisors or minuters at the meetings, they could do that. They would check their ultimate decisions with us, help us to get us to help them look at the final paperwork. So very much more, I hesitate to use the term hand-holding because it sounds very patronising, but having said that, I think most heads of agencies would say that when they reach a crisis situation with a very difficult member of staff, they don't mind a bit of hand-holding.
It's about the sort of the openness and honesty and maintaining that ongoing relationship with the person, giving them an honest and frank response, listening to what their issues are, and trying not to use policies just to sort of hide behind, but policies as a clear steer on how to work through all of their staffing concerns and issues.
We approached you, Kevin, at the London Housing Foundation saying, this employment tribunal is coming. We're very clear that our decision was right, but we're absolutely scared of this process and the dangers inherent within this for a smaller organisation, because the reality of the situation, we know that the decisions are at an employment tribunal are based on you working through each process properly. If you make an error there and you lose that tribunal, it could close your organisation.
Another organisation that took part in the project was Homeless Link. They support the development of best practice in the homelessness sector, and so they wanted to use the service to get their own HR practices up to the highest standard.
There are two key resources for voluntary sector agencies. One is the people, and the other is the money, the finances. And we seem to spend an awful lot of time on the finances and very little on the people.
HR management generally isn't regarded sort of at the top of the list, if you want. People spend a lot of time and energy and investment on sort of finance functions and invest things in IT and sort of other kind of operations. But generally HR is a bit of a poor relation. It's a poor cousin, really. It's fair to say there is room for improvement, certainly in the homelessness sector, in terms of the way organisations go about managing their people and their HR practices.
It's clear from both New Horizon and Homeless Link's experiences that Beyond a Helpline provided an effective solution for smaller agencies in need of professional HR support. So there is potential for the whole voluntary sector to access professional HR support. But to make this a reality, more chief executives need to engage in this kind of model of support, and membership organisations and capacity building funders should look at ways of supporting similar projects. The most important resource for the voluntary sector is its people. Let's make sure that we invest in them.